Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Turn Back the Clock, episode number 38 with Adam Splendid Sports. Adam, how's it going today?
Awesome. Great to see you. I'm excited. We got a fun episode here planned. Great idea by you on this one. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is going to be really fun. So this is card based. So any of you guys listening, what we're going to do is, you might want to watch some of this, but also listening is going to be really fun. I texted Adam and I said, hey, why don't we pick out our top favorite sets of all time? Whether we took it in a way of top 5 iconic sets, most nostalgic, best design. I left that in the air. So when we get to Adam, and then when we get to me, we'll explain how we did our own top 5s. And then we also did top 5 shiniest refractors or shiniest cards in general. They didn't have to be refractors, but kind of can tell people out there, because I just started collecting Modern in the last year and a half. And to go through Modern and you're just buying stuff basically as examples to see what you really are drawn to. And some refractors are amazing and some are flatter, meaning they just don't have that crazy shine. So I asked Adam if he would pick out his top 5, and I picked out my top 5. And we'll go into why we picked the top 5. I don't know why he picked his and why I picked mine, but let's just get right into it. We'll talk about the cards and in detail so everybody can hear at home. If you're not watching, you can see what we're looking at. Adam, let's do top. Should we go back and forth or do all the vintage? Or I guess don't have to be vintage. All the top sets or the shine first. Or should
Let's do the top sets. You want to like alternate back and forth? Like I'll show my 5th favorite. Then you show 5, I show 4, or however, something like that.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And that's one thing we did agree on. We're going from our least favorite out of the 5, so number 5, all the way up to number 1 of our personal favorites. So Adam, why did you pick the order you picked for your top 5 designs?
And this was tough. To just narrow it down to like the 5 greatest sets ever across all eras, so we're not just doing vintage. I guess you'd consider a modern set in there too. So
sports
it was
too.
tough.
I said any sport.
Yeah, any sport. I got multiple sports, so not just baseball. But the way I looked at it was I didn't do like my favorite. These might be my favorite, but as far as like greatest sets, what I consider the greatest 5 sets in the hobby, for me, it had to have a mix of like iconic. It has to be iconic because, if you're going to say greatest, it's got to be not a set that not many people know type thing. I would think a set that's not held up by like one card. So there's a lot of sets that I was considering, like I won't ruin maybe a set I didn't put in, but a set that was like famous for one card that I was like, it is a great set, but when you look at the other cards in it, there's really only like one really famous card. So that was like, that card might be one of the top 5, but not the set itself. The set has to be like, for me, it has to have a lot of awesome cards in it. It's got to be a set that, even if it's like a common player, if you have one of the cards from that set, someone in the hobby would be like, "Ooh, that's from this set." Like nice. Like it doesn't really almost matter who the player is. Obviously, the player magnifies it, but any player, any card in the set is a cool card and an iconic card in a way. So that's kind of what I went by with it. Of course, you got to love the design and everything. But I think if it's in this list, it's probably already going to already pass those tests. I mean, it's going to be a good looking set. It's going to be maybe a valuable set, but ordering it was really tough too. And I have honorable mentions if we want to mention those too, because there's so many. But
so many.
I'll get into my number 5.
Okay,
number 5.
Before you do that, and let me add a little commentary.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad you picked the way you picked, because I picked differently.
Okay.
Because I kind of thought, without asking you were going to go for the iconic ones. Not that the ones I chose aren't iconic either, but I thought you would pick exactly how you did. So I'm glad I guessed that right. So let's go.
I'm glad I'm so predictable these days.
Yeah, too predictable.
So yeah, iconic. I went with at number 5. I went with 1956 Topps. For me now, the interesting part, there's not like a huge card in this set. There's no like huge rookie card in 56 Topps. It's just, for me, it's such like the awesome iconic design. I forget the number, but there's so many different Hall of Famers in this set, and just coming in right in the middle of the 50s, the golden era. You get cards like these, Jackie Robinson's last playing days card. There's so many awesome cards in the set that I just had to put it at number 5. It probably wouldn't be in many people's top 5. I know a lot of people love it, but it made mine. I've always loved the design and action shots combined with the portrait shot type thing. So for me, it had to make the 5, and there we are.
Love it. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a magnificent set. Can't go wrong. Okay. So how I did mine was simply just all inclusive, whether it has to do with design, iconicness, nostalgia. Like I did a ranking on just the design last year, so I didn't use that as a parameter, but of course I love the designs of these, but these are very nostalgic for me, and they are iconic sets, so I just included the whole shebang, basically the whole set. Like if I was to create or go after a set, I have more cards in these sets that I want than most other sets out there. So my number 5 coming in last out of my top 5, sorry, I forgot to put you on solo so late, is the 1938 Gaudi Heads Up. Now this could definitely have been, my number 1 on any given day. The set itself to me, and I'm sharing Joe Kuhel. Cool. I don't even know how to say his name. That's not the point for me. You know what? I'll show an Al Lopez for Hugo, Signs of the Pastime. This set for me is the cartoons. Ever since I was a kid, seeing the picture of the Joe DiMaggio on all kinds of binders I've had and magazines and the cartoons. I used to go to Knott's Berry Farm when I was a kid, and they had those cartoonists, and I loved when they drew cartoons of everybody, and we'd always get one every year as a family and individual, and the little mini cartoons on here are just fascinating. So to me, I don't care if it's an Al Lopez, a Joe DiMaggio, or this guy Joe, who I have no idea who he is, and I probably will never look it up, to be honest with you. That I love the set, the overall design of it, the look of it. I love reading the individual little cartoons they have on there. They're really fun. So number 5, 1938 Gaudi Heads Up. And I'm going for the whole set. So
nice. I already forgot the first guy you showed, but that's exactly what I was saying, right? Like if I saw that card, even I have no idea who the guy is, but it's like, oh yeah, that's from the 38 Gaudi set, man. Like same with 56 Tops, regardless of the player on there, it could be Mickey Mantle or whoever else. Oh, that's a 56 Tops, So for me, it's like the set almost supersedes the players. That's what makes it for me.
Yeah, it definitely kicks those up a notch. All right, Adam, what do you got for number 2?
No, or this would be 4. Number 4.
Oh, number 4, yes.
Number 4, we got a basketball set, and I went with 1986 Fleer. Here's a nice Larry Bird from the set. Same idea. I mean, you see a card from this set, regardless of the player. It could be Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, but then it could be a common player. You know what set it's from, and it's the most famous basketball set, I think, and such an important set for the hobby because of what it means for basketball cards. At the time, not so much when they first came out. I think they couldn't even sell all the boxes at the card shops. But what it became primarily, a lot of times it is one card that propels the set, like the Michael Jordan card, but it's not just one card in the set. There's people consider it the Charles Barkley rookie, the Olajuwon rookie, John Stockton. I mean, there's so many Hall of Famers in the set, including mid-career cards like this Larry Bird one, Magic Johnson. There's just so many great basketball players in it that combined with such a unique design, for me, it had to be in the top 5. It's just so important. So that was my number 4.
Well, for me as a non-basketball card collector, 1987 Fleer to me is the pinnacle of basketball cards. And when I was collecting basketball cards, I owned a few And I own numerous Michael Jordans back in the early 2000s when they were $400 for an 8.
Yeah.
I had 3 of them. Yeah, I had it. So that, because it was iconic, because it was Michael Jordan, and that's set forever for me. That's the pinnacle of basketball.
Yep.
Okay, so my number 4 is, let me put myself on solo. It's the very first Topps baseball set ever produced. It's the 1951 Topps red back and also the blue backs as well. I love those as well. And this card I'm sharing is card number 1, Yogi Berra, the very first Topps baseball card ever made in a baseball set only. They had the Magic photos in 48. But as far as baseball only goes, this is the very first card ever made, and they happen to make it of Yogi Berra. And to me, I have been attracted to these cards, the back, and it's a game. I've been attracted to these cards since I was a kid. And the very first card I ever picked up back in like 90 something, late 90s, was a worn Spawn from the set. And I have a different copy here. I sold that one years back. It was super far off center. And I literally remember thinking that back in the day. So it had to be crazy to my eyes now. So I picked this one up, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. This Spawn. And it's probably my favorite worn Spawn card of all time. Also have a pack. That's how much I love the set. I have an unopened pack from 1951.
Nice.
Just love it. So that was my number 4.
Awesome. Love it, man. All right. So this next number 3 is, I picked a year, but I got 2 years of the set just because. My number 3 is 19. If I had to pick a year, I'd go with 1914 Cracker Jack. But there was also 1915. I got a 1914 here of John Stuffy McGinnis, and it's exactly how I wanted it, you know. So it's got all the stains on it from being in the box and everything on the back there. So as many of you guys know, the 14s were all right out of the box, right out of the Cracker Jack box. And then there was the 1915s where some of them were and some of them weren't. Where this one's, I would assume this one was, because it's got some staining on it, and this looks like it came from the box. So this is a 1915 Ray Caldwell. But if I had to pick a year, I would go with 1914, just because they're, you know, scarcer and rarer, you know, and they're all out of the box. But yeah, just the you know, the look of the cards and the size of them. They're, I guess, you know, they're bigger than a lot of the cards from that era. A lot of them were smaller. So I just love this set. And you know, like I was mentioning earlier, really doesn't matter. Yeah, you can go with the Joe Jacksons, the Ty Cobbs, Cy Youngs, and everything. Those are awesome, but it's awesome also to have just any player in the set, guys like this too. So that's my number 3.
Dude, that's like, I mean, as a kid, that's like the ultimate set. There was no set better than the Cracker Jack set. Seeing those cards, Shoeless Joe Jackson, I was like, untouchable. And I remember getting the little mini ones out of the Cracker Jack packs, the reprints.
Yep.
I never knew until I was an adult, till years and years later, that they weren't actually that small. I thought that's the size of the original ones too, because the modern ones are really, really small. I think the 1914 and the way they come out of the pack with the stains, I'm really drawn to those. I'm jealous that you have a few cards from that set. I cannot wait to get my hands on one of those cards at some point. It's going to be a big celebration when I finally have one from that set. So great choice. Jeez. I'm writing yours down, so you know, I gotta remember these in my collecting brain. Okay, next one for me. So my number 3, correct?
Number 3.
Yes, number 3 is my favorite. 1958 Topps. So what I love about 1958 Topps, I've been drawn to these, you know, since I was a youngster going into card shops, and you can see the giant name. This happens to be the Hank Aaron, and you could see it from so far away. I vividly remember these as a kid on the back walls in shops, especially this one store I used to go to. They had a wall display at Knott's Berry Farm and one on Beach Boulevard. And to me, it's the most magical set. Like on design wise, this is my number one. But what I love about this set is you can see them from a mile away. They're beautiful, but they also have the All Stars. I have the Mickey Mantle here, and probably the least expensive Mickey Mantle Topps card that you can own from the 50s. And then they also have combo cards, and this is the Rival, Fence Busters, Willie Mays, and Duke Snyder. Just love this set. It's one of those sets that I could collect every single card from. Minus I guess I wouldn't really need the commons. I'm still the only really commons that I'll pick up are for the 38 Gaudy set. I'm just not ready to pick up commons of other sets yet. But yeah, 58, just love it. So that's my number 3.
I do. That was one of my honorable mentions. 58 Topps. I think when way back, we did that one episode where we were going through like our favorite sets of the 50s. I think we both picked 58 Topps maybe as like our number one. Even though I've changed it a little, as we'll see, but like at the time I was just like, man, this is and I still feel like it's one of the best sets ever. Just so many, all-star cards, like you said. It's just such a beautiful set. I got all right. So this is my number 2. I don't need to talk, a ton about this set. Everyone knows it, but 52 Topps, man. Ooh. And this would obviously be the biggest reason why the set is so famous and iconic, the 52 mantle. But man, you get that Jackie card that's like skyrocketing in value and popularity. The Willie Mays and you go down the line. There's just so many great players in it, just for so many reasons. 52 Topps. I don't need to go too deep into that. We know why and all that, but that was my number 2, 52 Topps.
Man, I love it. You brought the mantle out, dude.
Yeah, I had him out. I had it out. So before I pack it away and everything, I figured I'll just use it one more time here on a video.
Dude, I mean, seriously, I never thought I'd know another friend who owns a 52 mantle. It's just crazy. I just don't get it.
I never thought I would. I'll tell you that.
It's insane. I love it. All right. So my number 2 is 1975 Topps. Obviously my favorite baseball card of all time, Robin Yount, rookie card. I would honorable mention to George Brett rookie card. But what I really love about this set are all the subsets inside of it. I'll start with my least favorite subset. There's a strikeout leaders card, which I have here, which is awesome. It's Steve Carlton and Nolan Ryan. And this is a mini. And that's also another reason I love 75 Topps, because you can collect 2 different versions of the same card, even 3 with OPG. So it's really cool. And this 1975 Topps World Series card, and this happens to be a Reggie Jackson. And this one I got for free I purchased a $2 card on eBay, and this was in there, and this is a blank back, and this was used facing the blank back out as a card, as like a cushion for the card that I bought, like a $2 card. I literally bent this in half, threw it in the trash because I thought it was a piece of cardboard. And then I looked in there a couple days later. I was like, wait, what is that? And it ended up being a blank back Reggie. So another thing you can collect from that set. And then they have the highlights. And this is the Hank Aaron highlights for his home run record. And this is a mini. And then my favorite subset of all time in history is the MVPs. This is 1951 MVPs with Yogi Berra. It's got his ballpoint pen autograph on there. And you got Roy Campanella. And these guys were the MVPs from that year. And since I have this card showing for you at home, I will show the card that goes with it. I have the original 1951 Topps and the 75, my favorite subset of all time. So that is my number 2 favorite set of all time.
I had a feeling that was going to be in your top 5. Yep.
You know it, of course.
Awesome set. All right, so my number one, and with a lot of these sets, I've never had. I was thinking this. I don't think I've ever had a complete set of any set in my entire life. I've never. I just never done. I mean, maybe, but I just never organized it or whatever. But I don't think I ever had. I know I don't now, but I've never completed a set of a top set or anything like that. And I'm definitely not going to in the future. Now I'm just trying to like be like a type collector and hit a lot of these sets with even sometimes just one card from the set, like this one. Number one on my list, greatest set of all time, T206.
Ooh.
And this is a Christy Matheson white cap. Every time I show it, I'm going to thank Darren, Return to Collecting, who I won his contest and he gifted me this card. So this is my my lone T206 card right now, and maybe it will always be. But you know, you just gotta pay homage to the past, and none of these sets maybe would have ever been around if it weren't for the T206 set, you know, that we're talking about. So I just feel like that's, for me, the greatest set, just with all the great all-time players in it, and also just how old it is, and also, you know, the different backs and everything. Yeah, that was my number one.
Dude, that completely surprised me.
Yeah.
And every time I see that card, I think anyone on YouTube who sees that card is just like, I can't believe Adam won that.
I know.
Just like, can't believe he gave that away.
I know.
That's like a grail card.
It's awesome.
It's insane. That's a great set. Good. That was a good call. You know, at some point, Adam, we're going to have to do a show on just your list of, because you are collecting one card from every iconic set. And so I can't wait to hear your entire list of those iconic sets, because I, for one, want to copy you exactly on that collection. And I know there's probably a lot more people out there that would love to. We're not all John Mangini's where we want one from every set, right, which would be insane and awesome. And it's a never ending goal, but to the iconic set. So we'll have to do a series just for that. All right. Good choice for your finale. My finale is going to be a lot of people's favorites in my mind, but on a nostalgia level, there's no set on the planet that has inspired my collecting more. And every time I see one, I get those collecting butterflies, and those just like, you remember them. And that is the 1987 Topps set. The wood grain, the classic, so I put also in this, what I'm going to share with you guys, I put the cards in order to my favorite to least favorite. So I probably should, this is my favorite card from that entire set. Number one, Jose Canseco Rookie Cup. I will never forget this card. When I was a kid, I had this card, and it was the first card I ever sold to a card shop. And there, I had like 3 card shops, literally like on all the catty corners of where I lived. And this one popped up, and I sold it for $2.50. And that was back probably in 1987, 1988, because we could walk there without my parents, even when I was 6, 7 years old, because I had 2 other friends. And back then, you can go do anything you want. We walked to the mall when we were 7 years old. And this set to me is just outstanding. So that's my number one card from that set. My number 2 card from that set is Wally Joyner. And when I pulled these, it was like the holy grail. Rookie Cup, another Rookie Cup. Wally Joyner is my guy. My Angels, this is my era when I used to go, to Angel games with my dad, and when we walked the field when we were in Little League. Second to last, Bo Jackson, Future Stars, just an iconic special card for anyone who's from this era. And the last one that, just for whatever reason, I have always loved this card, and it's the Roger Clemens All-Star card. And this set has so many different little variations too. There's like the cloud card that I have one on my wall. I just didn't pull it down. I love this set. I wouldn't love to have all of them. I don't really care. I probably have all of them in a box upstairs, thousands, but I want all the ones that I love in Tiffany form. That's mainly what you saw here. It's a good way for me to collect those cards and add a little value to them. And yeah, there's a couple of these that aren't, but they're like, there's a lot of specials like buybacks and stuff. There's a fun way to collect these junk wax era cards that, as someone like me, it just adds a little special thing to them and a little investing, I dare say, value to your collection that I love. And it's always been like that since I was a kid. Sold that one for $2.50 when I was a kid. Good move, because you could still buy them for $2.50. You know, it's like, yeah, that's my number one set of all time, 87 tops.
And I think if the list for me was like the set that makes you the happiest when you look at it, that would be my 87 tops, man. Every
That's
time
it.
I see any card from that set, I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. You
Yes.
know, there I'm back. I'm 7 years old, 6, 7 years old again. It's great.
Yeah, the good times, riding your
Yep.
bike around with your buddies,
Yep.
doing jumps off the curb, just doing a circle in the house and trading cards with each other. Whew,
Yep.
man, the good old days. Okay, that was fun. Now we're moving on to greatest shine. So there's a lot of collectors out there that watch our show and watch our regular YouTube channels, our personal ones, that are vintage only. And there's a lot of guys that were vintage only and are slowly starting to buy some modern stuff. And a lot of guys are, like I said this like a year and a half ago or something. I go, a lot of vintage guys think that everyone collects backwards, meaning they start collecting older and older cards. I honestly think the future is combination. There's a lot of vintage guys that collect forward in time because they start to hold these ones in hand. And there's a lot of cards that you can collect with insane shine that have Mickey Mantle and Ted Williams, all the old guys on modern design. So what we did was pick our favorite, most shiniest ones. And they're not created equal. Topps will come out with a new refractor every year, the same gold refractor, but it'll have a different shine. So, Adam, tell us how you ended up picking your list of top 5.
Yeah, really just the eye test. You know, I just kind of went through and I've always kind of had some in my head, like, oh man, that for whatever reason that just like shines the most, or it's just the flashiest card. You know, and I didn't really rank them so forth like I did with the previous segment there, but I just grabbed like I even got a few more than 5, but yeah, I picked some of the just the flashiest, coolest looking cards from you know, from a lot of these are in the 90s, some are past the 90s, but yeah, I just so like this first one here. I didn't know this, and I heard this recently, but I guess 1998 Bowman's Best. Did you know that those were the first numbered refractors?
I did not.
I didn't either. I mean, again, it might not be true, but as I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's right. I heard it somewhere on YouTube, I think. And when I really thought, I was like, yeah, actually, what was numbered before that? I know there were refractors starting in 93, but none of those were really numbered. So 1998 Bowman's Best. I love the atomic refractor. And, you know, this won't do it justice, but
No.
you know, these cards are like alive. That, you know, you move them around and they change, and depending on how you hold them. So this is just a Kevin Millar, you know, cowboy up, baby. This is these are numbered to 100. The regular refractors are numbered to 400 in the set, and the atomics numbered to 100. But man, these got to be top 5 for me, like coolest refractors, atomics from 1998, Bowman's Best.
Yeah, I've seen those, and those are freaking phenomenal. I guess the closest thing you get today are the sapphires, but they still don't have all. I think those within those they even have etching as well, like underneath all that, like sapphire look or whatever you would call that. Yeah,
Yep.
that's incredible. All right, so that was number 5. Oh, you didn't go in order on yours.
No, I mean, they're kind of all awesome, so it was hard to
Yeah,
like,
it was.
yeah, I didn't
Dude,
rank
I
them.
agree. I agree. All right, so I won't go in order either, but just cards that just strike me as a good. They just have great shine. That's how I went about it too. Just
Yeah.
I love looking at them. I like holding them in hand, and I did try to stick to like the 2000s, except for one card because I knew you'd probably share a lot of 90s. So I said, well, I'm a 2000s guy because that's nostalgic for me because I open a lot of that stuff. I'll start with the 2002 Topps Chrome and shout out since Ichiro just made the Hall of Fame yesterday. And this is the 2002 Topps Chrome Gold Refractors. These have all that crazy etching now for years. Like for like a year there when I first started collecting modern, my buddy Shane was always like, oh yeah, the etching on, you got to get the etching. And I was like, what the heck is etching? What is it? It's not until you have it in hand that you quite understand certain things. And this one in particular, 2002 Topps Chrome gold refractors are incredible. They really they hit all the spot for me. I love them. Yeah, love them.
Do you have like is there a year that like is 2002 like does it shine more than other years? Like have you noticed a big difference from year to year on some of those Topps Chrome?
Yeah, and that's kind of how I have some new ones up here too that kind of rival that shine from
Okay.
modern stuff. So yeah, that's kind of how I base it. So you don't have to go all the way back. I kind of wanted to make it within reason because like that one you shared is probably like a huge card, right? The atomic refractor.
Well, no. I mean, the Kevin Millar, because it's Kevin Millar, it's not a huge card. But
Okay,
well,
good.
let's put it this way: the set does elevate it for sure. Like
Yeah.
in '90s collecting, 1998 Bowman's Best is kind of like going back to the first segment. It's a very very popular set. You know, no matter the player. So it's just cool to have a card from that set for a lot of collectors. But yeah, if you get into the Jeters and the Ken Griffey Juniors, then obviously you're getting real expensive. But it's still an affordable set for common players or even like non-all-star players like Millar. So yeah, if you can grab any player in the set, someone that maybe played on a team that you followed, it's just a cool set to have a card from. Looks awesome. Because like the Griffey doesn't look any better than the Millar. It's got the same awesome design to it. The player's better, but all right, so this one now, another 90s set, or should I say brand that sometimes gets overlooked when you talk about shine, but a lot of 90s collectors will say these might be the shiniest cards of the whole era, which is the Pinnacle cards. So I pulled out, this is a 1998 Pinnacle Plus, gold number to 100. And again, it won't fully do it justice, but the shine on these Pinnacle Plus cards, the golds, but there's also not even just the golds. There's just the normal what do they call artist proof. So artist proof is like the parallel. This is an artist proof gold. There's a regular artist proof that's equally shiny, doesn't have the gold, but they're all awesome. And this definitely, you buy a lot of these cards from the 90s, and a lot of them, they're like, yeah, that's cool. But then you get certain ones like this. When I got this one in hand, I was like, oh my God, man, I didn't even know how shiny these things are. So some are just at a next level, and these Pinnacle Plus ones definitely are.
That's sick. Oh, I'm gonna write that one down because I know the
Pinnacle.
Bowman's Best. Pinnacle Plus.
Man.
See,
Pinnacle
this is good.
Plus.
I mean, this is what I love because otherwise you have to buy one card from every single set. So I've always wanted to know from people like what's the best shine. So for me, I'm gonna learn something from you because you definitely have a different collection than me.
Yep.
All right. Okay, my next one. Let's see where do I want to go with this. I kind of mix it up too. I didn't want to just do all Topps Chrome and all finest. So my next one's gonna be a 2005 solo mode Bowman Chrome Refractor Andy Pettit. Now, like we have both said, the shine on the camera does nothing when you're on these lives or these recordings, but you have to just trust it. This is why we're showing these. This thing is an absolutely bonkers shine. It could be my favorite modern parallel of all time. Like my favorite gold refractor could be the 2005 Bowman Chrome gold refractor. Man, I would love to own an Ichiro or a Pujols from the set, but I got Andy Pettit because this was like $20, and these are numbered to 50. Outstanding, just really, really in hand. There's nothing like it when the gold goes all the way to the borders to me. And it's like when you open a pack and you see that shine on the borders from behind. That's what I love, and this set does it.
That's awesome. All right, man. Yeah, so my next one, I got two cards to show for one, basically idea. And it starts with this one. So this is 1999. Another brand that sometimes gets overlooked is Pacific. I'm a big Pacific guy, but all those Prism cards that are so popular now from Panini, Pacific invented it. And let me tell you, man, again, the Pacific Prism cards, especially this gold out of 480 from 1999 of Pedro, They really shine, man. They some of the shiniest cards ever. So Pacific Prism, get yourself one of these cards. Doesn't have to be Pedro. You know, I sent Midlife Sports Cards Greg a Roger Clemens of this same 48 number to 480.
Ooh.
They're all awesome, man. They just, if you like gold and you like shine, and again, I figured I'd show this one too. This is a 2020 Panini Prism. They changed the S to a Z in Prism, but it's the same lineage, and they're still very shiny. Not as shiny though as the I guess the predecessor or the inventor of the Prism cards of Pacific. But I figured I'd show the modern version of Prism, what Prism became, Panini Prism, in this Teddy Bruschi 2020 gold Prism. But it's interesting because like these are numbered to 10 and these are numbered to 480. So like I think the 480 hurts. Like if these were numbered to 10 back in the day, they'd probably have a lot more collectability or a lot more demand if they were scarcer. But as far as just how they look, there's no card that looks better, man, if you like shiny gold cards.
Well, I put it on my list. I'm buying one. 99. I'll probably buy a Pedro if I can find one. I like
99 Prism.
I love collecting cards that my friends love the players of. And like I have some Pedros on my wall. I didn't even like Pedro before. You know, I had some, but I have cards of guys I don't like just because I love the card. But now I really love Pedro because you love Pedro so much, and it always reminds me. Oh my gosh, what is that? The silver?
This is this is one's numbered to 160, and it's
Oh.
I believe it's called the holographic. There's a lot of parallels in this set, but look how awesome they look. Like even on through this, it still looks great, but in person, it's even better. Yeah, this one's even a harder to find one, a number to 160. But I think the gold, probably if you're going to get one, I'd go gold because I know you love gold. But there's a lot of awesome other parallels too.
At the top of your head, what is like a comment like the, you know, what does a normal player go in like the gold? $50, $100?
Less.
Okay, sick.
Pacific, awesome. Man. Pacific has very low prices compared to these other ones. You know, I mean, I think I got the Pedro card for $20. Oh,
sick.
Yeah, and you could get, you know, especially if you're going for a pitcher, but you know, if you want to get even like I've seen Griffey has ones in this, and his are like I think under $100. So yeah, wow, not much.
Oh man, I'm gonna be on eBay right after this. Well, you know what? Speaking of Pedro, I'll share my next one. And this one, God, let me put my reading glasses on. You sent me this card.
Oh yeah.
1999. The second I got this card. This is 1999 Club K. These are Topps Chrome etch cards. I think that's what they call them, like an etch card.
All etch refractor.
All etch refractors. These are like, you can get these for like $5 of your favorite player. Yeah. Unfreaking believable. In hand, it could be the coolest card I own in my entire collection. The shine on this and the design, it really pops out. And there's a couple more different subsets or inserts from this same set, same year, that I'm dying to get my hands on. Man, these things are absolutely phenomenal. So these things don't have to be expensive to be absolutely glorious. So love this one, Adam. It's a treasure. It's in my Topps Chrome album. Super stoked on it. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I saw a video recently from Nate. Nate showed just showing cards. I think it was a Barry Bonds all etch refractor, and I was like, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So those are. I don't know what they did that, however they did it, but yeah, it hasn't. They really haven't. I haven't seen another one like that, really.
Yeah, I have it.
Let's see. Okay, how many have I done? 4? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I have 2 left.
Okay, let me do.
This is your 4th.
All right, I got 2 left. Yep. All right, so this one I'm gonna go. I got a football card. Like I mentioned, I love the atomic refractors. That's probably my favorite, like modern parallel, the atomic refractor. And this is like a step even deeper. So in 2011, Topps Chrome, they made what they called the crystal atomic refractor. These were numbered to 139. I don't know why they picked that number, but 139. And it's like an atomic refractor on steroids. Crystal atomic. Tom Brady, just awesome card. This was a national pickup from Chicago 2 years ago. and just awesome, man. And I think they only made like 1 year of these. I think 2011 they made them, and then I think that was it for Topps for the Crystal Atomics. So it's a very special card here, and for Brady collectors, it's an even cooler card because he's got the red jersey on, which he doesn't have on in a lot of cards. So,
yep. Question for the 2011: do they have the same parallels as baseball? Because I don't remember. I have an atomic refractor from that year, Mickey Mantle. I just don't remember what it's numbered to.
I should know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. I don't know if baseball did it. I know obviously the football did, but I don't know on that. Someone will in the comments tell us. Did baseball do those? If so, I should probably get one of those too.
I mean, 2011 has some pretty awesome refractors, and in their top set, they have some pretty cool inserts as well.
Yeah,
it's a pretty iconic set. All right, that was a good choice. I'm going to save my favorite one for last. My next one is from 2007, so I wanted to touch a finest one because you could always go to 93 finest. But I wanted to go into the 2000s, and this is Ichiro. This has etching all over it. This is like just a magical looking card. 2007 Topps finest, inserts, rookie finest moments, gold refractor. These are numbered to 50, and there's etching all over this thing. The shine's out of this world. And it's an insert card, so it's less desirable as the other ones. Yeah, number to 50. Just love it. In hand, these are just beautiful cards. I love them. I really love these shiny things. It's funny because I know guys like Nate and so many guys that have been collecting. I put collecting in quotes because I opened loads of 2000s finest and 2000s and 90s refractors over the decades, but I didn't collect them. So when we were talking about this, I'm speaking for myself. This is like new territory, like holding them in hand and comparing them to other ones and like collecting them and enjoying them in a different way than when you're trying to pull them from packs. And then I would instantly sell the expensive cards from it. Totally different style of going about it. So guys like Nate, I can see him at home. He's like, no, this set's way crazier. I got this one, but this is just ones that, for me, that I've collected so far. I know there's a lot more out there. So guys like Nate, if you want to make a video of the greatest shine, I'd love to see it. So many other guys too. But okay, so that's my number 4. Last one, greatest shine coming up.
All right,
your favorite.
This one, I guess I could say greatest shine for me too. It's got awesome shine to it. This is for me the coolest looking modern card in my collection, and this is the 1998 again from Pinnacle, 1998 select numbers.
Yes,
Pedro Martinez. Look at this design. It's got like a time travel theme to it here. It's got all these weird numbers that change as you rotate the card. Again, the card's alive, and look at that right there. This is the coolest looking card. This was a insert set from the last year that Pinnacle made cards. They went bankrupt right after this. I think this might have been even the last set they ever made. And this is a card that was never even meant to get out.
Wow.
It got out in bankruptcy. They made this set. It's got awesome players in it. It's got Jeter, Chipper Jones, Greg Maddux. I mean, all these awesome Hall of Famers. And really not that expensive for really what they are. They're not numbered, but they were supposed to be numbered. There's no numbered versions of these cards out there. All of them are unnumbered, but they were supposed to make like this one here. They were supposed to make 305 of these because it was for Pedro's 305 strikeouts in 1997, and it varies based on the player. But there's like maybe 10 to 20 of these that ever got out in existence. So
wow.
It's just, and then you get it in hand, and I love the design, but then you see it, it's like so awesome looking, and just the story behind it's cool. Like cards that never were supposed to make it out, and they made it out, and 1998 select numbers. Pick yourself up one of those of any of the players in the set. They're all like all-star Hall of Fame type players in the insert set, but again, if you can find one, get one. They're cool. I
have never forgotten that card. I knew it was going to be your number 1 from like 2 years ago you shared that card, or a year ago, and it blew my mind then, but I never wrote it down. And I was gonna ask you tonight, do you remember this one Pedro card with the numbers around it? That card to me, I'm going on eBay before we post this video so no one else can scoop one up. I'm gonna look for one. It's phenomenal, even on this crappy video we have going here.
And just I want to add on it, it's such a cool card to have too for me, because the first time I ever saw that card was on Instagram a year plus, maybe 2 years ago. And there's a guy on Instagram, his name goes by Goudy Gum, and he's a big Red Sox Pedro collector. And I saw this card on his Instagram, and I said, what in the hell is that card? How do I get one of those? And then I learned that at the time, it was the only known one. I like messaged him like, where'd you get that thing? And he was telling me about it. And he's like, I don't know of any others. He goes, I think I got the only one that has ever gotten out. And I was like, oh, because then you kind of get deflated and you're like, that's awesome. I'm happy for you, but I'll never have one of those then. Because he's like, I'm never getting rid of this. So I was thinking, I'm like, that's awesome, but maybe I'll never even have a chance to get one of those things. And then a year later or so, I work a trade. I randomly, I'm text messaging with this other Pedro collector, and he wanted my 1998 Crusade Red of Pedro number to 25 that graded a PSA 10, right? And he found out from the guy who sold it to me that it graded a 10, and he collects grades like that. So he was like, he wanted to trade for it. And I was like, well, you don't have the select numbers, do you? And he's like, actually, I do. I was like, what? And he's like, I do have, he goes, I have 2 of those. And so I was like, I'll trade you one of those for this and something else. And so that's how I got this card. It was just on a whim. I was like, you don't happen to have one of those, do you? And he did. So you never know. I guess you got to ask.
That's a freaking awesome story. That's like extra special right there.
Yeah. So there's probably like I said, 10 to 20 of these for each player, maybe. Some of them there's closer to the 20 out, but then there's some of them that there's only been like 4 that have ever been found. So it just varies, but really cool.
That's insane. All right. Well, my final one, you could argue with me that it's because it's when I really got into collecting modern, and it's also my favorite modern card of all time, the actual card itself. But to me, the shine on it, and there's etching on it, the gold refractors from this set are absolutely incredible. I really love them. They're the closest thing to the old stuff that we get, in my opinion, that I've collected so far. That's 2022 Topps Chrome Golds. Now, this one really sucks on camera because it's in a Beckett holder. So it, even in hand, you really have to like pretend you're not looking through 2 pieces of plastic and 1 blurry piece of plastic. But I have others from this set, so I know other gold ones, so I know how they actually look. I should have brought one of those. But see the etching around the New York Yankees right there. It's spectacular. And I guess it doesn't compare to maybe the really old ones, but it's the closest thing you're going to get, in my opinion. And it really does look good. And the cardstock's extra thick on these. When you have these, because I've opened these packs before in hand, the cards are just awesome. So this is my number one. I have a lot of refractors, gold refractor from 2022 Topps Chrome, because I just think they look really good. It's one of my favorite designs from the 2000s. So, and this is Aaron Judge in the year he broke the all-time home run record, AL, and in my opinion, overall, without cheating. So there we go.
Love it. And, for guys that maybe don't have any of these type of cards, like some of the approaches that I have taken with like pre-war cards where I say, I've always appreciated those. I just want to get like one T206 card or one of these. Maybe you could do that even if you have like, say, hey, I'm not going to build out like a huge 90s or 2000s collection of shiny stuff, but I'd like to maybe have one, right, to represent it in my collection. Well, maybe these could help. These are some of the best of the best that at least we've seen. So, yeah, it's been fun. It was fun going through the collection to pick out like which ones are the shiniest.
Dude, I had so much fun the last 2 weeks just thinking which one is it going to be. And then last minute, it was like, oh my gosh, how many do we have to cut? So like Topps Heritage, I wanted to show some from Topps Heritage. So yeah, that was really fun, Adam. I'm glad we did that. just get back to the cards and enjoy the collection that we have, and be able to, like you said, help some people out if they want to actually have a few of these cool cards in hand. You don't need to collect Ichiro or any of those guys. Just to hold some of these cards, vintage, modern, they're all baseball cards in the end. So any
Kevin
final
Millar
words?
needs love too.
Kevin, my
Yeah.
love, Dave. Yes, absolutely.
No, that
Any
was fun,
final
man.
words?
Great idea for that. No, thank you. I love doing this with you. So thanks again, and that's it.
Okay, guys. Thank you for watching. Till next time, hope you guys are inspired. Don't be influenced, guys like us. We just love collecting baseball cards. Later. You.